to see you all today. I have been, and Suzanne, you're on speaker, just FYI. Yeah, you look great. I love your backyard. Looks really pretty. But if you can flip that so that I'm on, that would be great. Okay, so yay, here I am. Hey guys, so I want to talk about how you can start thinking about funding your future and how I got to start thinking about it. And we're actually creating content internally because we just finished doing, who was on the boot camp, the Blind Spot boot camp? Go in the chat, let me know who was on the boot camp. It was an awesome boot camp. It was so good. Rose, you were on the boot camp. Anybody else? Jules, Danielle, Trisha. Awesome. So it was a great boot camp. And one of the things that came up was this conversation around, how do I really understand money? And let me just do a quick poll. If you're an entrepreneur, this is an honesty moment. And I want to tell you, I didn't know for a long time. Who doesn't really understand their numbers? Like, if I gave you a profit and loss statement, would you be able to read through it and really understand it? Yes or no? Yes or no? Go in the chat and just yes or no. Yes or no? Yes or no? Be honest, okay? So a couple of you guys, yes, but most people are no, right? And some people are hiding and not answering me because you're maybe feel bad about that. But this is a big conversation. A lot of people don't understand their P&Ls. They don't understand money. And honestly, I was running my company for a long time where I would go and make money and then I couldn't figure out where it went. You know what I mean? I was like, I got to pull back because I've got no profits. And that, if you don't understand money, a lot of times what we do is we make decisions versus choices. And I'll share just a snippet of the difference of that. Decisions are what I feel like I'm forced into, and I've got to make a decision to move forward, right? Or I got to make a decision to pull back. I got to make a decision to pull forward. A lot of times when we don't understand finances, we don't have a real comfortability with money. When you get around smart people, I coined that smart people, like we call them smart, that start talking about money and how to invest money and how to multiply money, many of us feel like we can't get into the game. Am I right? Like you feel like it's over my head, or like I can't get into the game, or money's already short and so I can't really think about that right now because I've got other things to think about because money's short. Am I hitting a nerve anywhere? Like, am I accurate on how I'm speaking right now? So this came back through reading comments on the Blind Spot Bootcamp that I did. And so as I got, like, I've never heard that before. Probably I didn't lead in a way that information came out. I didn't get that feedback. And so it's led me to want to start building out content and awareness around how to understand and think about money differently, all the way from understanding your P&Ls to learning how to work your P&Ls. Give you a great example. I was sharing with somebody on our team, and I was also sharing with one of our clients that if you have a chill mentality, so I'm going to take a copywriter, for example. If you've got a copywriter, somebody writing your blog, somebody writing your descriptions for your Facebook Lives, your Instagram Lives, somebody that is maybe writing sales emails or webinar campaigns, promotional emails. Okay, so let's just take that job scope. So if you hire somebody that when you read their writing, it sounds amazing. You might think because they're a great writer and even a great copywriter that that's who you need to be able to grow your business. Okay, so follow me here. However, if the person is chill, and I'll show you how this wraps around to P&Ls and understanding. If the person has a chill, kind of laid back personality, if they walk into the room, and the Blind Spot's actually a great example of this. When I walked into the Blind Spot, my experience was warmest audience I think I've served, maybe even ever. Like, the people were super warm. They wanted to make a difference. They had a strong opinion. They were definitely, like, they had a strong opinion. They were good leaders. The challenge is many of them were sitting back, like, let's see what happens in the world. Let's see what happens, right? Like, will the government do this? Will my husband eat healthy? Or will, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I'm just got an opinion, but I'm not really going to step up and really change it. My experience is people do that around money all the time. They sit back and they look at and thank you. They go, okay, I've got this amount of money and here's what I can or can't do, or I can't even think about that yet. When funding your future and funding your freedom really comes down to looking at, like, what do you want to build in your life? So you guys, we got 4 months left to the year. Is that not insane to you? I mean, we got 4 months left to the year, and still there's people showing up to lives like this and they're distracted, right? They're on their cell phone. Their cameras are off. You might be driving, your camera's off, but like, they're still like, when you got your camera off, guess what? We can't hold you accountable. We can't actually hold you accountable with your camera off. So it's a really safe way to have separation, right? And so when I look into the world as someone who's leading a business and I hold the role of a coach, I look at all these details. It's all giving a message. And I look at what entrepreneurs want to create in the world. I just read that when in the Economist magazine right now, in 08, when the real estate market crashed, 3.4 million people lost their home over 3 years. One in four. So the mortgage freeze, there's a mortgage freeze on. It ends at the end of this month, right? So currently, as we're doing this live, it's the 19th of August, right? So we got about a week and a half before the mortgage freeze is over, right? Like the end of this month. Now, 1 in 4 people who are renting do not know how they're going to pay next month's rent. 1 in 10 people that own a home do not actually know how they're going to pay their mortgage next month. So if you're renting one of those homes, it's going to be an interesting day next month for you, right? If you're renting one of those homes at the homeowners with a 1 in 10. 1 in 10 is a lot, right? If we had 1 in 10 people passing away of COVID, we'd be all really flipping out, right? 1 in 10 is a lot. 1 in 4 is a lot. I went to Las Vegas last weekend for my son's karate tournament. There's nobody checking anybody in at the hotel, right? The Bellagio Hotel, which is super foo-foo. We go in, my husband and I share some caviar. My son drinks a $10 cherry, soda, not soda, but juice. It's like foo-foo, like super high-end foo-foo. There's no valet. It's a self-serve, bring your ticket, put your ticket in the machine, pay. Nobody's taking your money. And the valet guy runs the car up. Now, I've been talking about this for at least 5 years. The last zone event before COVID hit, right? The last zone event, I was like, guys, the window's closing. I didn't know COVID was going to hit, right? Hopefully they don't censor this video because I'm saying this, but like, I didn't know that was going to happen, but I knew that jobs were going away. I knew that, your Uber driver's going away. We know these things. I go to the grocery store when I want to pick my own groceries. I actually really like doing that, but I might only go to the grocery store like 3 times in a whole year. And, our house manager orders all of our groceries. She doesn't even go to the grocery store. And so now look at the writing on the wall. Look at the writing on the wall. I don't know about you, but I went to the mall the other day. I loved it. I just walked around the mall to walk around. Anybody else feel me? You like to walk around the mall? I actually like to, and now there's nobody in it. So it's even better because I can walk around the mall and not have to stand in line to buy anything. And I could look at things, touch things, try them on, and it's an awesome experience. However, at Christmas time, I don't go to the mall. I get online and I make a list of all the people I'm going to buy for, and I order them all. Anybody else like this? Yes or no? Anybody else like this? Okay, so engage. If you don't engage, you're literally missing content. I can't remember the number of engagement, but Rex was showing me, it was like, it's significantly higher when you actually engage and write or type in your ability to retain information. And I don't just come here for my health. I come here to serve you and help you because I got thousands of clients, over 1,000 people in the last quarter. Not to sound so crass, but I'm just being really real. I show up here to help you. My intention is to move more people into freedom, but you got to fund it. See, the plans don't fund themselves. The plans are where you look at the smart people and you're like, oh, that's smart. But then what are you doing in the last 4 months of this year to build that? Or do you still can't think about that yet because you're not ready? You got to get that out of your personality. Do you know, I'll never forget, there was a woman that did my PACE program and she was on food stamps. I have no idea how she funded her future, right? Or funded her freedom by coming in and investing in our PACE program. I don't know how she did it. She didn't waste her time talking to me about how she did it. She used her time talking to me, being very clear about what's the next thing she's challenged with that she needs a solution on. So I ask you right now, go in the chat. What's the next thing that you need right now? Because I go back and I read the chat. And not only do I go back and read the chat, I have somebody on our team watching the chat right now that's going to copy it. And then every month we come together for 70 minutes and there's about 12 of us that read all of this information and go, what does Rose need? What does Laura need? What does Jane need? What are the people who are leading their life, who are actually engaging, commenting? And I don't mean commenting like I need your like or comment. I mean like using your voice and saying, this is what I need solved. So the woman that went through my PACE program that was on food stamps, every time she talked to me, she knew the exact step she was in. And I always say in our programs, I'm like, if you want to lower the pressure so you can increase the energy, increase the follow through, increase the momentum, increase the motivation, if you want that to go up, you have to manage the pressure. That's part of funding your future. You got to manage your pressure because your pressure either is suppressing your energy or releasing it. Right? So the reason why I love doing more lives, more events, more free content, more paid content, the reason why I actually like my calendar full is because I'm less emotional. I actually enjoy more of my life, and so will you, if you put more things on your actual giving calendar. What I mean is like webinars, Facebook Lives, Instagram Lives. It was easier for me to do a 6 a.m. coffee with Shanda Monday through Friday than it is for me to show up here once a week on Thursday. Way easier. Because I can sit down, develop, here's the content, like here's what I'm going to talk about each day, and I'm on it. And it's every day, it's a habit. Once a week, it's a challenge. I mean, it really is. It's like getting myself to show up once a week is a lot more challenging. Now, I've tested this with so many clients at this point, I can't even tell you, where we teach them how to stack events. We teach them how to, like, it becomes your office hours. And what happens is they become kinder to the people they love. They make a heck of a lot more money. Like people that were making $20,000 a year last year are having $100,000 months this year. Isn't that mind-blowing? I mean, mind-blowing. And the only thing I can attest it from where I'm standing today and looking at it and analyzing it is that when people can get out of their own way and stop worrying about, like, am I good? Am I not good? Am I ready for this? I can't even think about that right now. If they can get out of their own like emotions and life and look at where on my calendar, like where can I actually give consistently on my calendar? That's why I love 5-day boot camps, challenges, 3-day events. I love them because I know what I'm doing those days. Like there's no room for floundering. There's no room for like an unproductive day. It's built. Right? There's a placement in the calendar for us to show up, and it's building. Now, if I felt bad when you bought from me or didn't buy from me, or if I felt bad about whether I was good enough in that content piece or not, if I felt bad that nobody engaged, then what do you think that's going to do to my ability to show up? What do you think? What do you think that's going to do? What do you think that's going to do to my ability to show up? Yeah, it's going to crush it. It's going to hold me back. It's going to decrease my ability. Exactly, 100%. So when you get caught up, when your mind is literally like, when you're on building, like I'm going to fund something, I'm going to build something. To fund something, you're going to build it. If you could stop worrying about every time you failed in the past, the only reason why you failed is because you decided you failed. Your emotion told you that. It's not true. It's not true. And so what happened was you did what everybody put in the chat. You decreased your momentum, you slowed down, you held back. And that was the problem. It's not that you're not powerful. It's not that you can't do this. It's not that things don't work out for you. It's not that the rug constantly gets pulled out from underneath you. It's because you get emotional. And because your vision is not connected to building something, truly, it's more connected to a goal. Like, I want to make money, I want to do this, which is awesome. Goals are awesome. Nothing wrong with them. But you got to have an ultimate vision of freedom. And so we're actually going to put together, I'm literally got my advisors, because on the boot camp, so many people messaged me for my advisors. I'm sitting there going, I pay $3,000 or $4,000 a month on retainer for one of my advisors. And so I know a lot of people can't afford that. And so I asked the guy that helped me become I was making $6,000 a month. And I couldn't think about that. Wasn't time to think about that. But I got a vision for my freedom. And the vision for my freedom was, this is how far my vision went at that time. I didn't want to screw up being an entrepreneur and be in trouble and be cleaning toilets for a living. I'm not kidding you. That is literally what my fear was. And so I was like, I don't want that. And I might screw up because I'm risking, which is a great leadership quality. And I have the courage to go in, but like nothing had really come together yet. Do you know what I'm saying? Where I felt like I could take a portion of my money and give it to somebody to multiply it. Like I didn't feel ready for that. But I had this vision that if I didn't do this, then I might just keep spending any amount of money that I had. Anybody else relate with me on this? And so I started to get conscious about the fact that nobody was coming to save me. Like if they were, they would have already showed up. And so I was like, I'm going to have to be a big girl now, and I'm going to have to figure this out. The amazing thing is let me do a quick poll. How long do you think it took me to become my own bank? How many years? I just want you to guess. How many years do you think it took me? 5, 3, 7, 10, 5, 2. Okay, let me ask you. Some of you guys might know. Let me ask you. How long do you think it would take you to become completely financially free? If I said, I want you to make $200,000 a year passive, tax-free, take home, how long do you think it would take you to do that? 10, 7, 3, 6, 10, 15, 4, 5. Yikes, not sure. I love that honesty. 1 year, 2 years, who knows? Okay, so is anybody got that type of passive income? I'm just curious. Yes or no? Does anybody have that type of passive income? So I'm asking, do you have $20,000? Actually, yeah, do you have $20,000 every single month passive, whether you work or don't work? Like no matter what. I'm not talking with your business. I'm not talking with your company. I'm talking passive money that you could just shut down every business you have right now. You can shut down any job, any business, and you got $20,000 every month coming in for the rest of your life. Do you have that? Yes or no? That's a dream. No. That's a dream. No. Sadly, no. Not yet. Okay, so now let me ask you another question. I saw a lot of people that said I could do it in 2 years, 1 year, 10 years, 15 years, 7 years. So what's stopping you? What's stopping you? Myself, fear. What do you think? Commitment, the steps. I don't know how. Me, self-doubt. Okay, so everybody look at the comments right now in the chats. Most of it, other than a couple people that were like the how, most of it is an emotional reason. Most of it. Because I can give you the plan. I'm not even a financial advisor, and I can give you the plan. Because I did it. Right? Like I did it in 5 years. I was making $6,000 a month, and I did it in 5 years. And there was nothing logical about it. There was absolutely nothing logical about it at all. I had to come up with more money than I was making in a month, and I had to start coming up with it, and I paid into this plan twice a year. Twice a year, I paid big chunks into this plan, and I was able to do it. Now, where I went in my head to process that is something that I want to start unpacking with you guys, right? And so I asked like my advisors to come together, and on September 8th, we're literally going to do a full day masterclass on how to fund your freedom. And I'm going to have them train. And then as they're training, I'm going to tell you guys how I would fund that, how I simplify it, what I do. And I'm starting way back when I was just making $6,000 a month. And that was really shaky. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be odd if that 6,000 dropped down to 4, or so that's where I was at. So I'm going to have them build this out. I don't have any links or anything for you guys today. Hopefully I'll have one tomorrow or Monday. But we're going to enroll in it. It'll be $200, which is nothing, right? It'll be $200. So look on your emails if you're on emails. I'll also post it on social media. But this is a major problem, because if we are depending on a side hustle or job to take care of our livelihood, and many of those are being transcended right now. You know what I mean? We took a catamaran in Mexico, and we rented a private catamaran, and the poor photographer, because none of us bought any of the pictures, because we all have an iPhone and we all took the pictures ourselves. And I said to her, I was like, what do you do? And she's like, it's getting harder and harder, because people just take their own pictures now and they upload them, and it's a lot easier than getting your pictures from somebody else. Am I right? We didn't even buy dolphin pictures. We bought nothing. We handled all that ourselves. And so like, I think at least I feel what's really supported me is when I got hit in the 2008 real estate market, I had 3 homes. One that I bought with a friend. By the way, I shouldn't have been able to have 3 homes, but they let you in for like nothing, right? So I was ambitious. I went after it. I had 3 homes, and one I bought with a friend. One I bought pre-construction that came due. I needed to close on it. I closed on it. And one, which was my first 1-bedroom apartment in Las Vegas that I bought on my own. All 3 of those went into foreclosure when the real estate market popped. So I was like the 1 in 10. Do you know what I mean? That didn't know how I was going to pay the next month. And so all of them went into foreclosure. That's when I started really building. And I was like, I'm going to turn this adversity of not being able to buy anything on credit to figuring out how to create cash flow, because I'm being forced. If I want to buy a car, if I want to rent an apartment, I'm going to have to pay like a lot of money up front, or I'm going to have to pay really, really high interest rates, because, they're not going to lend to me because I'm showing that I'm irresponsible with money. You hear, I'm just being honest. I was irresponsible. It was a learning curve, but that's still irresponsible. I was able to take that wisdom and learn how to create cash. So while I was creating cash in the process, I didn't want to wait. I didn't want to wait until the day I could afford it. I knew if I did that, knowing my personality, I would find a way to spend the money. So in the boot camp, in the blind spot boot camp, I was talking about money needs a purpose. And this is kind of like a continuation, not of the boot camp, but of this conversation, because I care about you. I don't care if you're my client or not my client. I actually care about you. And you starting to think like this, because I know that with my financial literacy back then, and I was able to figure it out, I can share from that jump off point. You know what I'm saying? Like I can actually share, this is what I did, this is how I thought, but I knew I didn't know AI and everything was going to COVID. I didn't know any of this stuff was going to happen, but I knew I didn't want to be cleaning toilets. I knew that I was meant for a better future than that. And I knew what it was going to take was for me to figure out how to build it. And so is this helping you guys? And so you don't have to be ready to multiply your money. You don't have to feel ready. You don't have to have enough. That's the whole part of like creating out of nothing. You guys who have like, who's the people who've done my leadership program? You know, we teach you how to create out of nothing all the time. It's like, how do you create out of nothing? And that's what I want you to think of when you're thinking about your future. So I'm going to ask everybody as we're rolling into the last 4 months of the year, think about what do you want the next 4 months to look like? Like truly, I just got the data in from our PACE program. 80% of people that filled out their quarterly forms, 80% of the 80% hit their mark. Their own goals. Their own goals. But yet, how often do we go into the next 4 months without just putting everything on like a to-do list? Forget to-do lists. That is not how you run a life. That is emotional. A to-do list is emotional. It's how you feel. If you feel urgent, your to-do list is going to be more aggressive. You feel kind of lazy, which everybody does at times, you're going to get to the end of the day and nothing's going to be done. And I know I'm not talking to the birds right now. I know I'm talking to you because I've been coaching entrepreneurs for 12 years. For 12 years. In just over 3 years, we popped into a 7-figure company because I started to think like this. Now, 7 figures didn't mean I took 7 figures home, right? Like it didn't mean I took 7 figures home. In fact, at $700,000 a year and $600,000 a year, I kept a lot more money because I needed less team. But then I caught the vision to fund something bigger. Now I fund, plans like we just off the boot camp that we just did, we donated $20,000 to causes. So not only did I discount a program significantly, like 80%, I actually donated another 10% of that to causes. Now, there was a time in my life I didn't feel like I could make a difference like that. I just wanted to figure out how not clean toilets. But if you don't start now, then we live in a world that people are not looking up, trying to help each other. Like, I can't believe what's happening in Afghanistan. You know what I mean? I can't believe what's happening in Las Vegas, 40 miles of underground tunnels with little kids and women being trafficked. Little boys being forced to clean and be slaves. Do you know what I mean? Like, why are we okay with not figuring out our shit so that we can go help other people, especially if we have the heart to do it? Am I landing anything here? Because as long as you feel like you're not ready, then you make that excuse up for everybody else in your family, especially if you have children. We continue to replicate this chill mentality of let's see what everybody does. Oh, I don't agree with what the government's doing. So then get out there and put people that you believe on your platforms. Oh, I only have 100 people on my platform. Who cares? It's 100 people. You know what? Oh, they wouldn't do an interview with me. Have you even tried? Have you tried? Have you gone out there and tried? Build it. You've got a jumping off spot right where you're at. The only reason why a human being doesn't build is they don't feel like they can either make a difference, which is emotional. It's actually quite self-centered, because the truth is every single one of us can. We carry, I just went to the bank 2 days ago. We carry, probably shouldn't say this on live, but I'm going to say it for the sake of, making a difference. We carry a lot of cash on us, and we do that to give to people who are on the streets. And so we are always prepared to give. It's not like I just run around, just hand all out. When I see somebody, especially families, a father out there humbling himself, and he's got his wife and his 2 kids, and that like he doesn't look homeless, but he needs money. He's lost his job. I give, and I don't just give $5. I mean, I think $5 is great. I give $100. I give $50. I give $500. And almost always they turn back to me and say, God bless you. And it's just my indication that doing his work. And so I just don't believe that your life is just about you creating the freedom. You figuring out how to create the freedom is so critically important, because I just have this feeling that you will go out and help other people do it too. I just have that feeling. It is, people who are attracted to us are not like, they're not attracted to like me driving down the street in my G-Wagon. You know what I mean? They're attracted to like, let's figure out how to take care of people. But if you wait till you're ready, I'm going to tell you, life's going to throw you a curveball and you won't be ready, because you've created a habit of not being ready. And so throw out the complaining, throw out the excuses, and get a vision. You got 4 months left to the year. What would be responsible for you to create? And then look at your calendar. Put it up on the wall. Put like the vision for the last of this year. Christmas is going to be here like this, right? And then New Year's is going to be here like this. And we can't control, actually, I can't even say we can't control what's happening in the world, but we actually can. We can use our voices. We can stop fighting. We can use our voices. You got family members that you can't land communication with, you got belief system problems. There's a breakthrough waiting to happen. Stop needing to make them wrong. Get authority back, because whatever's happening in the world, you need your family and you need your friends, which means that you're going to have to stop fighting with them about, whether they're taking a shot or not taking a shot, or whether they believe like we should open up borders or whether we don't, whether we're Democrats or we're Republicans. Like, are you kidding me? Like, if you understand anything about leadership, it is actually, you cannot lead anybody until you have authority. So as long as we keep making each other wrong about our belief systems, it's crazy to me. Everybody blamed that on the churches. That was bred into society. Just like what's being bred into society right now is war. And you can't have it in your families. You've got to be the bigger person, even if your Aunt Betty is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, get on the same page with Aunt Betty, even if she is crazy and you don't believe in what she's saying and you think she's nuts or whatever. Get on the same page with Aunt Betty, because if you need to have authority with Aunt Betty, you better not be fighting. Can you hear me, my friends? Can you hear me? It is time to take your power back. It is time to take your power back. And you do it with your family, you do it with your friends, and then you do it with your platforms. You do it with your family, then you do it with your friends, and then you do it with your platforms. And I'll end on this. I have a company that we have mixed beliefs in our company. We still have a prayer call every Monday. Okay? All different belief systems, New Age, Catholic, Christian. We all have prayer call on Mondays. Well, we pray for each other. We're actually learning spiritual warfare right now. That's leadership. Do you not think that was risky for me to put in? Spiritual warfare? Kind of out there. Super risky. But my team's loving it, right? I have a girlfriend, Allison. She's one of my close friends, Allison Maslin. We have very, very similar beliefs in medical stuff, totally different in politics. We sit there and laugh about it. And we're always trying to enroll each other without making each other wrong. That's great leadership. I know if Allison needed to come and help me with something, she would have authority. I would listen. I know that I can go to Allison, and we do it all the time with each other, and I have authority with her. She'll listen. And we have completely different political views, completely different. I posted something not too, like a long time ago. I posted a picture of Biden. Again, I'm going out on a limb. And I actually felt, my heart felt for him because like of his just not being able to keep like his thoughts. And I was watching him on the news, and I was like, I posted something and I said, now you guys gotta remember I'm Canadian too, right? I said, for landing the communication, I didn't even vote for Biden, but you guys, you get to have compassion. Like, stop beating this man up. You know what I mean? Like, whether you think he's doing a good job, a bad job, you can't have any authority with that even group unless you have authority with them. So I don't want to go in the weeds on this, but do you know that I had a bunch of Trump followers message me and say, I voted for Trump and you're right. We need to adjust our attitude. Do you know I had 2 people that were Biden followers that messaged me and said, I'm unfollowing you, and very nasty words. And I was like, I just was like, the only reason why I said that is because I didn't want people to think I was like, here's Biden, I voted for, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I said it. It wasn't because I was saying I voted for Trump. It wasn't because I said that I even voted at all. Do you know what I mean? Like, that wasn't the point. The point was what I'm talking about now. You cannot make a difference unless you have authority. And you're not always going to land with people. You're not always going to win with people. And people are going to trigger you. But if you can get less triggered and less offended, you will lead. And if you believe you're right, you better be smart enough to get the authority to lead. So I'm going to end on that. So much love for you guys. Keep your eye open for Fund Your Freedom, because we're going to, I don't know if it's coming out today or tomorrow. It really got inspired by the Blind Spot Bootcamp. We're going to do it for $200, which is not, I don't even think I've ever done anything for $200. And literally, it's just an act of service. And I'm not doing it for free because people don't show up. Do you know what I mean? So if I'm bringing these guys and we spend a ton of money with them to come give their education, people can invest $200. And so they're going to train and teach how to understand your numbers, but not even just that, how to actually look at how to build out and multiply your money. And as they're teaching the plans, I'm gonna literally go in between them and go, here's how I would cash inject that. Here's how I would fund that. Here's how I process that so that I can digest it and do it. And then the how gets created with the plan. And so I think it's gonna be really awesome and super dynamic. So keep your eyes open for that. And other than that, I'll see you guys next Thursday. So much love for you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so
Well
much.
said, Krishanda.
Bye. Bye.